Hey, it's MK, and I am back with another Baby Got Scraps. And for today, I'm going to do a 2-page layout. I picked out some decorative brads by Simple Stories, which I wasn't sure if these were actual real brads this time or not. I guess I'll find out when I open them. I also picked out some matching die cuts from 49 and Market. I am uber super shocked at how well these two collections blend together. I have some charms that were gifted to me by Galaxy Girl Creations. She is Janet here on YouTube. No, vice versa. She's Janet and Galaxy Girl Creations here on YouTube. I have loads and loads and loads of photos of Mono Lake in California. I also have all of my scraps. So I have a ton of border strips that I just decided to put in this little kit rather than have an actual decision of what I'm going to be making yet. A Kaiser Craft strip, a couple Cocoa Vanilla pieces. This one is a Stampin' Up piece. This one here is from a paper pad. Oh no, it's not. Where was that? I'm thinking it's a Kaiser Craft, actually. I think that that was my wood piece that had sand going across it. Now that I think about it, I have some Just Not for Boys paper that I'm not familiar with those companies. Another Cocoa Vanilla piece, and then this one here is a Close to My Heart piece. Now this is the second release of this collection, so it's a little bit lighter than the first release of it, which I'm not sure if I like it or not, but I do love the print. I also have two pieces of cardstock for my double page, but you're not going to even see any of the cardstock. All right, I'm going to do my tried and true when it comes to a double page layout with tons of photos, where I flank both sides of my layout with 6x4 photos. Then that way I only have a 12x12 layout to work with. So I also went ahead and matted my photos. Now, yes, I did use scraps for the matting of my photos. They were actually scraps. They were 8.5 by 11 gray cardstock. To be honest, I'm trying to be fair, even though I didn't record it, which I thought I did. I apologize. I took that sandpaper and went ahead and cut it in half, so that way I had enough border or a photo mat in order to do just the two photos that are going to be on the 12x12 layout, if that makes any sense. So now I'm just going to try and figure out how I want this layout to come together. I thought about having like one strip go up and down and the other strip go across, and then I had no idea what I was going to do or any of that stuff. So yeah, I decided to take my ever favorite seaweed punch, which I found out it's not a seaweed punch. It's actually a winter berry punch. I had no clue, you guys. I learned that in my comments just the other day. And so anyways, I'm taking this seaweed punch and going ahead and using my Kaiser Craft paper to get some seaweed out of it. And then I realized that it was this really cool light wood grain on the other side. So I'm going to cut it down to where I have some green and some white seaweed. So I thought that was a happy discovery on my part. Now, Mono Lake is a saltwater lake. However, there's no inlet or outlet, so it cannot release any of its salt, or it can't control all of the salt that is in this lake. It's actually very pretty, you guys. I love all of the, I think they're called tufa columns. I'll have to look that up, but, tufa. They're called tufa rocks that form because of all of the salt content in the lake. And because of the fact that there's no inlet or outlet of this particular lake, it's called an alkaline lake, which means that it's just got way too much to do anything in it. Things can't live in it. There's only three animals that rely on this lake, and one of them is the brine shrimp. Live in this lake. It's totally loaded with brine shrimp, and then the shrimp bring in thousands of different types of birds to this lake. You can sit there and walk along they call it the dock that almost goes out to the lake, and along the way, it shows you guys, one, the deterioration of the lake. So where it used to be in like the 60s and then all the way to where it is now, which is pretty sad because there's nothing feeding the lake. And so for it to be deteriorating like that, it's going to, one, not provide a home for the shrimp, and two, all the birds have had to find different migratory paths. And then, of course, there's also, I don't know what kind of flies they are, but oh my gosh, you can't get really close to this lake. That's why most of these pictures are taken from the car. You can't get really close to the lake. But when you walk out on the dock and you look at the lake, you can see the entire border is entirely black. And that's how many flies are in there catching or laying babies is what they're doing. And so anyways, I just thought it was a very gorgeous lake, in all honesty. And I just absolutely loved it. But to find out that it is totally all salt, like its concentration of salt is ridiculous. And I don't know, I mean, I do know what's causing it to go down. I don't know the politics behind it or anything like that, but I do know that there's an entire organization and foundation that is trying to at least preserve what's left of it. So that way it can remain, because it's an anomaly, to have, just this salt pond, which it's huge. It can't be a pond. It's just, it's huge. They're dating it all the way back to 700 and some odd thousand years ago, when this lake was formed. And the fact that, like I said, it has no inlet or outlet. So how it even got there is phenomenal. The islands in there, in the middle of the lake, are just one huge twofer. Oh my gosh, you guys, I said it again. Tufa formation. Yes, that's what it is. And of course, there's also, if you go into the, if you visit this lake, by the way, and go and see the, it's not really like a museum. I don't really know what it's called. But if you go in and you walk their little museum that they have, or I don't know what it's called, you guys. It's actually kind of cool because Native Americans relied on this lake and the shrimp that was in this lake, as well as the flies that laid their eggs in this lake. So I thought it was really cool because I would have never known that if I didn't go in and visit the little museum for this lake at all. It was just one of those things that we were driving by and it's like, hey, do you want to stop? Absolutely. I'd like to know more about it, because you can't get very close to this lake because of the fact that it's, they're trying to preserve what's left of it. So anyways, I decided on having a border down below that looks a little like sand. I don't know what made me want to do it, and there was really no purpose for it except for using up my stuff. But then by the time that I got done actually decorating my page, and I didn't even notice it until after I was taking the photos, is that my elements end up doing a little diagonal dance across, going from the upper left all the way down to the lower right of this layout. And I thought it was pretty cool how I didn't even try, but yet that's what happened. I also picked out several elements from the 49 and Market die cut pack to kind of go on, to kind of go and intermix with this layout. I didn't really need a whole lot, but I kind of wanted to do the saltwater seaweed, shellfish type thing. There are no shells. There are none of this stuff at this lake. But I wanted to do that so that way I remembered that it is nothing but salt water. And when I think of salt water, I think of all of these elements. So I do know that, this lake is very unique compared to all the other lakes that we've ever been to. So I just wanted to kind of sort of, memorize that by adding all of these, what I would consider saltwater elements, or memories, I should say, or triggers actually would be the better word. Now, I also have a postcard that it's not just of Mono Lake, but Mono Lake is right smack dab in the center of it when the, oh gosh, what were they called again? Tufa rock formations were at its highest peak. Now they are deteriorating over time. So they are kind of a little smaller than when this postcard was created. But I also wanted to have that postcard so I can see what it used to look like. I also have pictures of this lake after 2 years too. So I can't wait to compare the photos and see the difference between now and then. The postcard and a couple other photos will be on flip flaps, which means that they are also going to be on the outside of my page protector. So that's why I keep bringing them in and then taking them back out, because I want to make sure that all the elements still will look good, because when you first look at this page and open it up, you're going to see the flip flaps on top instead of the 2 photos that I'm working with right now. So, and I know that some of the photos do kind of sort of look the same, like all 6 of my photos are kind of the same. But what was really cool is that as we were driving, so the, I can't remember what highway we were on. But whatever, anyways, I can't remember which highway it is, but it almost goes all the way around this lake. It's a good distance from point A to point B. And so the more farther that I went, when we started, we came in from the south and we went up north. And on the south side, it was a crystal clear lake. It had all these really cool, like rock formations, which I had no clue what they were at the time. It just was this absolutely gorgeous lake. And then the farther north that we went, the more all of a sudden it became foggy. And a mist was coming over the lake. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so super cool. And we even talked about stopping and visiting this lake on our way back from wherever it was that we were headed to. I can't remember. But yeah, it just was awesome. And I'm glad that we actually got to stop and find out about this, because I had absolutely no clue whatsoever. And then while we were walking on the little dock that they created for it, we ran into a couple that actually maintain the little, I don't know, it's like a park there that's neat. They've got like a rec house and a park and all that stuff where the dock starts. And I'm not sure if they do, fundraising parties or whatnot there. I don't know. It's a very lovely park. But we stopped and ran into a couple that actually take care and maintain the area during certain times of the year. So I thought that was kind of neat. And they had a huge insight of the lake's history. And that's where we found out about the, the museum that we could go and visit, or visitor center. That's the word. Whew! It's a visitor center. It's not a museum. Oh my gosh. Thank you. But yeah, that's where we found out about all of it. And we were just intrigued. So of course we drove up the road a little bit farther and went to the visitors center, not museum. Although some of it was a museum. Anyways, yeah, it was so fun. I'm almost coming up to wrapping up this layout. I decided to go ahead and cover up a kind of ugly spot on a photo by just doing a couple, what are they called? A couple labels and some shells. I did go ahead and put my flip-flaps on top so that way I could see whether or not I liked what was covered up and whatnot, because once they're put down on the page protectors, it's kind of that's the way it is. And so I do kind of like the way that they look, even though some of the elements anyways, embellishments are going to be covered up. I like how they're peeking out of, the pocket pages or the flip-flaps. Anyways, I have lost my words. And this is the end of the layout. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble on and on and on. If you guys get a chance to actually drive by Mono Lake, it would be really, really cool if you stopped at the visitor center and checked out all the cool, fun facts about this lake, because I had no idea. I saw it as a body of water, had no clue why nobody was enjoying it. Nobody was, fishing off of it. Nobody was doing anything on this lake on a very lovely summer day. And until we went to the visitor center and found out why nobody was on that lake. Anyways, thank you so much, excuse me, for hanging out with me today. Be sure to check out everyone else that is following along, excuse me, with Baby Got Scraps, and I will check y'all later. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.